Okay, hey Joseph. So on your language arts quiz, he had a 72%, and so I'm going to show you some things that you need to study for your quiz this weekend, and then you can be ready by Monday morning for your quiz. One of the first, you did pretty good with the adverbs. You did get a few adverbs wrong. Just remember that when you underline the main verbs, which are action words, things you do, and you have helping verbs, I want you to remember this. On page 65, the back of your light unit, you have a list of all the helping verbs. And I want you to go back there and study those, okay? Because notice here, all these helping verbs right here, these words are helping verbs. Now they can be main verbs, but oftentimes when you see these verbs, you will be using them with this tense. See those parentheses? That means you need to use one of these helping verbs in front of it. So in a sentence, whenever you see one of these helping verbs in front, you will know typically there will be a main verb behind it. So always underline in a sentence, when you're underlining verbs, you have to underline the helping verb and the main verb sometimes. Okay, so there's two verbs. So always remember that. Look for that. A helping verb and a main verb. They're both verbs, and they both need to be underlined in a sentence, okay? So that's one thing I need you to memorize. The other thing I need you to memorize is, remember these irregular verbs here? Okay, these are present time. This is happening right now. And in a sentence, when they want you to, when your quiz and test, when they want you to give the right tense, they will always tell you in parentheses whether they want present tense or past tense. And if it's present tense, remember, you need to study this list, okay? These are present tense verbs that we use. So you will say, today we break or breaks, and see there can be both because depending if it's singular or plural, buy or buys, come or comes, do or does, draw or draws, drink, and so on. Those are all present. These are past. So I want you to look up here a little bit. You notice here in the middle, today if you lose your socks or shoes or gloves, you lose or you loses. Okay, you're going to do it right now. This is present. So this is present. Lose or loses. If it happened yesterday in the past, then you say lost. You see how this changed the words? It's irregular. It changes completely. The same thing with buy or buys. The day I buy a sandwich, or I buy a coat, or buys. Well, if it happened yesterday in the past, we say bought. It changes the spelling of it. You need to study that list because those are things that are going to be on your quiz and on your tests. Just take the time, study that list, make sure you understand how to change it from present tense to past tense. Same thing with ring, rang. Today, the bell will ring. Yesterday, it rang. But if it's in the future, we say it will ring. It has rung. I'm sorry, past participle. If it has a helping verb. It's just what this last list is, okay? So if it has a helping verb like this, we know it's going to be rung. Same thing with drink today. Yesterday was drink. But if it has a helping verb, we say drunk. So those forms are all on page 65. I need you to study those. Just sit down, take 30 minutes. And study these word forms, okay? And these helping verbs that go with it. It will do you a lot of good on your quizzes and tests, all right? The other thing I need you to remember, and you told me you remember this, but evidently you didn't, are the words than and then. Okay, remember then. The one with an E in it means next. It has an E in it. Do you see that? Do you know what the word next means? So if you do something first, and then next you do something else, and then next something else, okay, that's what the word then with an E means. It means next. So if you have a sequence, an order of doing something, so first I want you to get out of bed, next, get dressed, next, eat breakfast, next, brush your teeth, and so on. It means next. It means then. Whenever you can substitute the word next into the sentence, then that means you can put then in. The one with an A compares two things or more. So I am older than you. We're comparing me and you. When you that's what comparing means. Taking two things that we're saying how they're alike or how they're different, and then we use this. It's warmer outside, or it's colder outside than inside. We're comparing outside and inside. When you're comparing, always use then. Compare has an A in it. You see this? Then has an A in it. So that's one key thing you can do to remember this is simply look at the letter. If it has an A, it compares. If it has an E, it's next. You think that'll help you on that? You can do that? Might give you some info how to do that. So I want you to study that again. Again, you can come back and watch this video as often as you want. And the other thing is to put in commas in sentences. Remember when a sentence, let's go to lesson 2, page 5. All right. Okay, you see that? You use commas to separate words in a series, but if the sentence has the word and in it, you do not need to put commas in. Like, I saw Joseph and Israel and Chris in town yesterday. I don't have to put a comma in it because I use the word and. So if the word and is used in a sentence, you do not need to put commas in it. Only if there's not and. So if I say something like, I raise dogs, cats, hogs, and cows, I did not use the word and except the very last one. So then you'd have to put commas in. But if I say I raise dogs and cats and pigs and horses, as long as I use the word and, no commas are needed. Okay? If I use the word and to separate lists, I don't have to use commas. All right? So again, watch this video a couple times. Make sure you understand that. And then Monday we'll do the quiz again. Okay? Have a good weekend.